Oh, I had to use that one, talking about water. We love our music here at Home Wizards. Don't you think it's kind of cool? Cindy Dole here every Saturday to hopefully put a little kick in your step and put a smile on your face as we talk about the spaces we call home. And whether it's an apartment or a condo or a palatial estate, it always can be better, and we're here to make it happen. So thanks for hanging out with me. The number is 888-539-2980, 888-KFWB-980. And if you're thinking about making some changes in your garden to save water, this is the guy who has really some good solutions, Mike Garcia, whose company is called Enviroscapes Landscapes, and he's done something really innovative with his pool. So, Mike, we were just getting started to the good part of how you had this really cool natural pool, but you decided that that wasn't enough because you wanted to do more to save water. So, continue.
Exactly. Thank you, Cindy. So, the statistics are that the average pool evaporates about 24,000 gallons of water a year. And then when you couple that with because a pool doesn't just stay stagnant, it actually has a pump that's constantly pumping through a circulation system to clean it. That adds up to a considerable amount of money. And so I thought, you know what? No, with this knowledge, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do something that's going to be good for the environment. It's going to be good for the pocketbook. And so I decided I was going to transform my swimming pool into a rainwater harvesting system. And these things are done all over the world. But unfortunately, here in the United States, it's just a new concept. And I believe mine was a first in North America, and we built it earlier this year.
And we have the video, by the way, which you shot on and put on YouTube. And I put the link on my homepage of cindydole.com, and we'll describe right now for you as you're listening. But you can go back later and see it. And it's really fascinating. But before we get to the how-to part, when you say rain harvesting, I mean, in Southern California, we don't have that much rain. How is this going to be a good thing?
That's a really good question, Cindy. We did all the numbers and figures and the statistics, and we came to find out that with this 4,000-gallon rainwater harvesting that I turned my pool into, that instead of needing 12 months of the year of tap water, we're only going to need 1 to 2 months of the year.
Okay. Are you okay? It's all right. I know that's how it is on radio. You have to kind of clear your throat. You can do that from time to time. So that's going to translate to a lot of water that you're saving and some good money. Is this practical for everyone to do, though? I mean, what are some of the things to consider if you're going, wow, my ears are perked. I want to go the whole rain harvesting route.
Okay. Well, certain cities have programs where you can actually get rain barrels, and I think that's a good start, but not necessarily the permanent solution. I'll tell you why, because rain barrels do sit above ground, and the sun hits them, the UV rays. And let's say the city of Los Angeles or some city gives out 1 million rain barrels. UV rays do crack plastic, and when they crack, they're no longer usable. So guess where they're going to end up? In the landfill. So times that by not just one barrel, but let's say 1 million people have rain barrels that are not usable. That's 1 million barrels that are going to fill the landfill. So it could be a problem. So that's why I had to think forward, and I had to think about what was going to be more of a sustainable thing. And so that's why I'm thinking of the underground rainwater harvesting tanks.
So here you had this natural pool. What was the size of the natural pool? It wasn't big. It was kind of an intimate little pool.
Right. It was about almost 5,000 gallons.
Okay. And so you drain all the water out. Right? This was earlier in the spring, and then you have a bunch of friends to help you. And would you say this is a do-it-yourself project?
To figure it out, you might want a professional, unless you're an engineer type. Then you could probably look on the internet and get all the information that you need. One of the things that's different about this is the fact that you have to have you drain your pool, and then you basically it's already sealed, so you put sand on the bottom. Then you put pond liner on top of that. Then you put more sand on top of that. Then you put geotextile fabric, and then you put your rainwater harvesting boxes. They're like old milk crates from the old days.
I saw that.
Yeah.
And you just kind of put them all side by side and stack them in this area. After you've drained the pool, what do you put on the bottom of the pool?
Well, what you need to do is you need to bust out just to make sure that if there's any water that gets underneath there, that it has a place to drain. So you bust out the bottom of the pool, and then you go ahead and put in your sand as a base.
And why sand?
Because water can percolate through if anything gets through there.
And so then you have this special kind of a fabric, right, that you put then on top of the sand.
Right. It's called a geotextile fabric, and you can get it at most irrigation supply houses.
And so that's going to basically help as a sealant of some kind.
Right. That sort of somewhat seals the boxes so that no sand gets in there, because you want any space at all, you want it filled with water, not anything else, sand or anything else.
Interesting. And then after you do all that, you or someone helps you with the rebar and covering up this big hole.
No rebar, surprisingly. No. Then we fill the boxes up. We put the geotextile fabric on top. And then what's interesting is that we'll put about a minimum of 12 inches of sand on top of that. And then you can build a patio, driveway. My cousin just came from the Marshall Islands. He said that the airport of the Marshall Islands actually has a big rainwater harvesting system. That's how they get their water. And about 70% of the world relies on rainwater harvesting systems.
Interesting. And in there is a pump in the system that's also collecting the water and then pushing it to your irrigation system, right?
That's correct. And it has to be a rainwater harvesting pump. It can't be a pond pump. Pond pumps are not built for high pressure. They're built for volume and not pressure. This is the exact opposite. A rainwater harvesting pump, it depends on a lot of pressure but very little resistance.
Mm-hmm. And this is now, you've been having it for several months, and so when we come back, we'll talk about how it's been helping you water your lawn, right? What you have left of lawn,
yes,
and the rest of your beautiful plants, and we're going to learn some great other techniques to bring water features to our garden to save water, right?
Exactly.
I mean, it sounds like it's counterintuitive, but some of these water gardens are really smart gardens.
Absolutely.
All right. You're listening to Home Wizards. The number is 888-KFWB980, 888-539-2980. You can follow me on Facebook at cindydole.com, and the fun continues on Home Wizards. I'm back right after this.
Heard the sing